stronger, the basis of any sport, and those words were never more appropriate than for the Canadian Trampoline and Tumbling Championships today from Calgary.
Alberta, rugged, yet beautiful. Home of the world-famous Calgary Stampede. And now, site for the national championships. Add tumbling to the equation, and trampoline. It's a sport filled with skill, finesse, and daring. Riding in from Quebec, Michael Green, the defending trampoline champion. And Mont Royal's Marianne Saint-Jacques, appearing in her 11th Nationals and coming off a World Cup victory. Tumbling's brightest stars have Western roots. Three-time national champ Karen Stevens shared team bronze in the last Worlds. Cole Roycroft, a Calgary native, is just 12, the youngest member of the national team. From Ontario, Lisa Calusi is one half of a powerful double mini package. She took silver at the '96 Worlds. And boyfriend Chris Mitruk, not just a one-trick pony, is reigning world champion. So if you like rough with your tumble, walks on the wild side, and definitely fast-paced action, then you've come to the right spot.
The Jack Simpson Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Calgary is the venue for the Canadian Trampoline and Tumbling Championships. Athletes from across the land competing for 18 medals in 6 events in a sport in which Canada excels. Welcome now to Calgary. I'm Scott Oak, and I'll be guided today, or perhaps more accurately, carried by Carol Orchard. Carol, let's talk first of all about women's trampoline. This class really underlines Canada's strength internationally in this sport.
It really does. Marianne Saint-Jacques from Quebec is in a league all her own, and she's made huge impact on the World Cup circuit with wins in '96 and '97. She's the only Canadian woman to ever do that, so she's well respected internationally. But it's the Canadian title she wants, and today if she hits, it's hers.
It should be Marianne and everybody else, and it could be the same in the men's double mini trampoline, because this event features a man who currently rules the world.
Chris Mitruk, world champion, wild man, wild event. He loves this. Throughout the world, he's known as a high-flying daredevil, and you've really got to see him to believe him. He'll be throwing unbelievable skills today. But keep your eye on 2 other Canadians. Jeremy Brock flies higher than anyone I've ever seen with a beautiful style. But Mr. Hollywood is here, Rod Oliver. Lights, camera, action. This guy loves to put on a show.
Canada didn't win an individual medal in women's tumbling at the World Championships in Vancouver in 1996, won bronze in the team event, but this event really, if you will, is a work in progress, although one with an ever-improving field.
It definitely is. There are 2 members here from that bronze medal team performance at World Championships, Karen Stevens and Kelly Ottenbright. What impresses me the most is how much they've both progressed since World Championships. In fact, in prelims, Karen Stevens threw passes that would have definitely won a medal at World Championships.
From tumbling to trampoline, and that's where we start. Here's how the women stand after preliminaries. Marianne Saint-Jacques, whom you said, Carol, was in a league of her own, has the lead. Lydia Zanin of Ontario within striking distance. Ontario athletes in places 2 to 5. And then Tanya Licorice of BC rounding out the top 6. She'd need the routine of her life and a few failures from those in front to crack the top 3. And she's first up at the Jack Simpson Gymnasium.
Scott, this is the closest thing to flying that you could ever imagine. The athletes have 10 bounces to show the judges everything that they've got. So the big impact is degree of difficulty. The more twists, the more flips, the higher the degree of difficulty. Tanya struggled through that one a little bit, but she managed to get it to the 10th skill.
A relieved look as she completes her routine. 10 elements, but were they done as well as she would have liked?
Actually, perfection is the name of the game in this sport, and she had a few execution errors. You can see as she's bouncing onto her back, her knee slightly bent. The judges will deduct her for that. Good control on the outbounce. I struggled through that.
Tanya telling her coach, I struggled with that. She registers 29.9. Carol, can you put that score into perspective?
There is no perfect score in this sport. The higher the degree of difficulty, the final score can just skyrocket.
Now it's the Ontario contingent. Cheryl Johnson first up. She was 8th at the '96 Nationals.
Cheryl has great air time, and that's one thing that the judges are looking for. How high can they bounce? Now she's showing some simple saltos, and those were not planned. If an athlete gets into trouble, they can certainly change their routine. Oh, finish is strong with a back in full out straight, so the finish was great.
Johnson was 5th after preliminary. She's 17 years of age, pleased with herself. She also competes in double mini, trains with Dave Ross at the Skyriders Club.
Now here you see a nice double back, but simple Branny and then a back straight. The higher degree of difficulty will be given for the twisting, the multiple saltos, and that's what she was hoping for.
It's a 32.5 for Cheryl Johnson, moving her temporarily into first place, with emphasis on temporary, as the first 3 after prelims are yet to perform. Here's Karen Colburn of North York. Note the brace on her right knee. 3rd after preliminaries. And Carol, what would it take for her to move up?
Actually, she has a very strong routine plan, and she really could give Marianne Saint-Jacques a run for her money. Looks strong. She's an athlete in the truest sense of the word. Now, she just did a simple back tuck, and that was not planned, so her degree of difficulty will be slightly lower. But after a year out, she's back in the sport, looking stronger and better than ever.
Although she doesn't look entirely pleased and maybe in a touch of discomfort. It is trampoline, Carol, but do the knees take a pounding?
They actually do take quite a bit of a pounding. Look at how low she is on each bounce. Tremendous impact at the bottom of that bounce. But I think she's more disappointed at having to change her routine. Her degree of difficulty drops from 10.9 to 10.1.
Scores getting higher now. 34.9 for Colburn, with Lydia Zanin and Marianne Saint-Jacques to come. Lydia Zanin ready now. She's got a fair amount of international experience to her credit. World Cup competitions in Germany and the Czech Republic, and she's 0.3 of a point behind Saint-Jacques heading into this final.
And Lydia has a style all of her own. Look at the air time, and that's one thing the judges are looking at, for them to maintain excellent consistency in the amount of height, and she has got it. Good form, legs are straight, kicks everything out, nice and crisp. Finish is really strong, back in full out straight.
How about the height? Zanin seemed to go just that much higher than those before her. And there's Dave Ross, her coach at the Skyriders Club.
Beautiful double full, great form, half out tuck. Now watch this, back in, full out. That's 2 flips and 2 twists.
She needs a high score to have any chance of catching Marianne Saint-Jacques. 35 even, not likely enough unless Saint-Jacques has an uncharacteristically weak routine. And here is the leader, Marianne Saint-Jacques, defending Canadian champion and in the Nationals for the 11th time.
Yeah, this is my 11th Nationals, and I think the reason why I keep coming back and I'm still motivated and I still want to do it is I'm setting goals for myself, and I want to do always better than I did the last time, and I want to break records.
And Marianne can break some records. She is one of the classiest performers in the world on this event. Impeccable form, lots of style. This is an unpredictable event, and the higher you go, the more risk there is of bouncing sideways. But she's keeping it well within that red box, and that's what the judges want to see. That's enough to win.
Marianne Saint-Jacques certainly has speed in her routine that sets her apart from the field. She's won 2 World Cup events in Europe this year and almost certainly has just won another Canadian championship.
Oh, definitely. She's tremendously motivated, and Hélène Duchesne works with her so well. Great form. Heading into Rudy, tuck, half in, half out tuck. She just does one trick right after the other.
Saint-Jacques and coach Hélène Duchesne await her score, 36-7, more than enough for the title. Saint-Jacques' 2nd decade of national competition is off to the best possible start. And here is the official order of finish. Saint-Jacques 2 full points ahead of Lydia Zanin, with Karen Colburn in 3rd. Ontario with 5 of the top 7, but the top position belongs to Saint-Jacques of Quebec. No one would have bet against her. When we come back to Calgary, Chris Mitrick, the world champion in men's double mini, will show us his stuff.
Got a dirty, filmy shower door? You've got a choice. You can try to scrub it, or you can CLR it. And that rust-stained bathtub? You can try steel wool, or you can CLR it. If you want fast and easy cleaning, try CLR. It's guaranteed to instantly remove the toughest stains caused by calcium, lime, and rust. CLR glass decanters, quick and clean. CLR your pots and pans. CLR those water spot stains, and your toilet too. CLR the stucco wall. Run a little through an empty washer cycle and get rid of rust stains in your machine. CLR works all over the house. It's guaranteed or your money back. So for tough stains in kitchens, bathrooms, basements, and more, the choice is CLR.
Available at participating Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, Kmart, Safeway, Zellers, Pro Hardware, Do-It Centers, True Value Hardware, Beaver Lumber, Co-op stores.
Although there is some debate about it, the planet Earth is the only spot in the entire universe known to sustain life. And a part of that planet, as small as it may be, belongs to no one but you. All of which should help explain why we've put together the Earth's finest brands of yard equipment. Yard Machines, Yard Man, White, and Cub Cadet. Helping you care for it. MTD, for a growing world.
Does your yard look like this? Nobody wants weeds and grasses in their walkways. Now Laters brings you Pronto, the fast-acting weed and grass killer that kills on contact. Laters Pronto. It's easy to apply. Pronto works so fast you'll see results the very next day. To kill your unwanted weeds and grasses, use Pronto. Pronto, it gets the job done fast.
Back in Calgary, there's the speed skating oval on the modern University of Calgary campus as the Canadian Trampoline and Tumbling Championships continue. Men's double mini trampoline are focused now. Israel Martins of BC is 9th after preliminaries. He had a lifetime experience in '96 by sharing in Canada's double mini gold medal win at the Worlds in Vancouver.
For sure, Worlds in Vancouver was a great experience. I loved it. Having a chance to be on the Canadian team for mini was great, and winning the gold was spectacular. I loved it. It was a great experience.
Martins was 3rd in the '96 Nationals. Sitting 9th heading into these finals might be a disappointment for him.
They add prelims to finals, so he could really pick up here. That was a great full straight dismount. On double mini tramp, the athletes can show a maximum of 2 skills. Trampoline, it was 10, but here they have 2 skills to show their best. Good placement on the bed. Now watch his takeoff. Little offside, full, 2 twists, 2 flips, and a fairly solid landing.
A 5.43 for Israel Martins in round 1 of the final. Carol, perspective on that score?
Everything depends on the degree of difficulty, and he'll be trying to throw even more in his second pass.
Here's Kevin Perkins of Ontario, stands 4th after prelims, exactly where he finished at the '96 Nationals.
He has a bright future ahead of him. His father is an expert coach, and he's got some expert maneuvers. Half in, half out pike. Look, he checks down. I'm still in bounds, and that's where he wants to be.
You can see the athletes will try to hold the landing at all costs. Perkins doing everything in his power to keep his feet planted.
They need to hold that for 3 seconds. Here's his Branny straight. Great height, half in, half out pike. Now he needs to absorb, hold on to that, and he just keeps it in bounds.
Perkins earns a 4.43 in round 1, a full point under what Martins earned, so at this point Israel Martins could make up some ground. And Carol, here's the man you referred to as Mr. Hollywood, Alberta's Rod Oliver, who is 3rd after prelims.
He has been thrilling the audience all week. He's thrown a full Rudy mount in competition. He's even done a triple back dismount. We have no idea what he has planned here, but I know he wants to make it big. Oh, and it is too big. He's going to be devastated with that. You must land on the dismount bed and then throw the skill, and he's completely overshot the mini tramp.
And that's a disaster as Oliver missed the trampoline.
Now, he'll get a 0 for that. That absolutely was not what he was intending, but sometimes you try a little too hard, and this is an event of precision.
7 consecutive Alberta titles, but no shot at the Canadian Championship for Oliver now. As he gets a 0, he'll remember these nationals, but for the wrong reason. Jeremy Brock of BC, 2nd after prelims, finished 5th in the World Championships last year. He's a longtime competitor in this discipline.
And he takes your breath away. No one goes higher than Jeremy Brock. Huge air time, huge skills, finishes with a half in, half out pike, and he likes that landing.
And by far the best pass we've seen thus far in double mini, and Brock knows it.
At World Championships, he just missed a medal due to landing errors, but I'll tell you, he's obviously learned from that. No landing error here, even though he was on the side of the bed. Look at the control, the experience.
Brock won the Canadian title in '95. It was open for him because Chris Mittrick was hurt, and that's who Brock is trying to catch this time with a 5-4-3 in round one. And here is Chris Mittrick, who has a lead big enough. He won't likely be caught, but he won't likely hold back either. He's a real daredevil with twists and spins to spare. Chris Mittrick is at the very top of this sport, winning the World Championship last year in Vancouver. It was Mittrick's crowning moment, and one he was able to share with his girlfriend, Lisa Calusi, who finished second in double mini. This couple challenged the world and won.
Placing second at Worlds really meant a lot to me. It was a big career step. I felt like I had finally achieved something that was worth recognizing for other people. It was great. The team spirit was amazing.
Where I really notice it is in the younger generation coming up. All of a sudden, you're an idol. You're somebody that people point and look at and say, you know, that's Chris Mittrick, that's Lisa Calusi, they're the champions. And if you say something to them and smile at them and are nice to them, they're like, wow. So that's a really neat feeling.
And for a couple that's in a relationship, it was really nice because we could talk about it. And it wasn't that one of us had done really well and one had done okay. We'd both really shined to our expectations. So it was really nice that we can both sit down and watch the videotape and really relive the moment together. I was always told what to do and had a program to follow, and I actually like it that way. And I kind of wish I had that still now, whereas Chris, I think, has always been able to do whatever he's felt like doing, and he trains that way. So really in the gym, it's hard for him to coach me sometimes, I think, because I want to do what I'm set to do.
I don't want her to train the way I do. I think that I would like to be able to train a little bit more the way she does.
So I think once we're in the gym, I think we try and stay a part of it because we have such different training systems. But outside of the gym, we're really good because we'll sit down together and make up the passes that we want to accomplish at Worlds and routines and maybe some different things that we should be trying. After this Worlds, I really had a feeling of accomplishment that I've finally started to achieve something that will make me feel satisfied with my career. Being so close to winning, that's why I want to keep at it for another year and go to Worlds in '98 because I think it's possible. But after that, I think I'll probably dive into international judging and keep with the coaching, and I'll enjoy it just as much.
Trampoline has always been my first love. Double mini, I started doing for a little bit of a change. I sort of took the ball and ran with it, though. But it's a little tougher on my body. I'm not going to be able to last in it very long. Before I leave double mini, I'd like to really give something to it, really revolutionize it.
Chris Mittrick with a lead of almost 2 points after preliminaries.
And if there's anyone that can revolutionize this discipline, it is Chris. Oh, fantastic. Half-in rodeo pike. He had a sore ankle. He sprained it almost a month ago at provincial championships. He was thinking of easier passes, but he said, I'm struggling with them. The advanced passes, they're in my head, they're automatic, and here's one. Full in half. Watch this. Half in rodeo pike, and he has a perfect landing.
And that was world-class form from the world champion. Mittrick looking good to defend the title he won last year. 5-9 his score for the best routine to this point in the competition. And so the first round of the double mini final is complete. Chris Mittrick has widened his lead to a healthy 2.2 points over Jeremy Brock. Israel Martins, who has moved up to third, will return to Calgary in a moment.
Hi, I'm Art Drysdale, and I have some exciting news. One of the best garden tools I've ever used has just gotten better. The new Garden Claw Gold lets you customize the height for your own personal comfort. Simply turn the handles and the hardened steel tines rip through all types of soil, even heavy clay, without backbreaking effort. And it's perfect for mixing in fertilizer and working around plants. The Garden Claw Gold comes with a 100% lifetime guarantee and makes a great gift.
Available at True Value, Beaver Lumber, Home Hardware, and Co-op stores.
This is Cliff Chatterton of the War Amps. I've known Megan since she was 3. This is your new swimming arm, and this is the sport hand that goes with it, okay? She was enrolled in Champ after a terrible car crash cost her an arm. Show kids you care. Be a part of the War Amps Drive Safe campaign.
Drive safe.
Hartman Business Machines.
My name is Carol Parody. I am the office manager at Kelowna Flightcraft. We have a very high volume for fax machines and for photocopying. Wade is very customer oriented. He keeps me abreast of what is happening in the marketplace. He doesn't try to upsell. He comes through. I would recommend Hartman Business Machines to any business in the Valley.
No frills, no nonsense, no equal. Hartman Business Machines. Call them today.
From Calgary, the Canadian Trampoline and Tumbling Championships continue with the second and final round of the men's double mini trampoline. Here is Israel Martins of BC, who made that big move from 9th to 3rd with his first pass in the final.
A very strong competitor for Canada with real consistency, and that's the key on this event. It's a lot like target practice. Oh, unbelievable. Tuck Rudy out, double pike. Struggling with the landing, that'll be a deduction, but the tricks are huge.
Martins knows he'll have a tough time beating Mitrick, nonetheless happy with the pass that should keep him in the top 3.
We get a great perspective of it from the overhead camera that just follows him right along. Little trouble in the tuck Rudy out, but the double pike was done beautifully.
And Israel Martins settles for a 4.83 on his second pass. Disappointing preliminaries for him here, but he seems to have recovered in the finals. Here's young Kevin Perkins of Ontario, currently 4th. Can he catch Martins?
He has a lot of potential. He's planning pretty big DD, 2.3 if he does it. Half in, full out tuck, back in, full out tuck. He has been hugging the borderline on both passes. He can't believe he's still managing to stay in bounds.
In his first pass, he wobbled backwards trying to hold the landing. This time, he went in the opposite direction, stepping forward to keep his balance.
Lots of DD, half in, full out tuck, back in, full out tuck, and hugging those borders.
And a 4.90 for Perkins, which should secure a top 5 placing for him. Here's Rod Oliver, the Alberta champion, who had that major faux pas on his first pass when he missed the trampoline, inconsistent with the philosophy of this veteran competitor.
My philosophy is basically just big tricks. I want to put on the biggest, best show for everybody. I want everybody to be pleased with my performance. I want to go out there and give them 110%, you know. I want to give them the best show that they could possibly see and the biggest skills. I want to show them skills they've never ever seen before and just go out there and go crazy.
Well, it was a 0 for Oliver in round 1, and Carol, he's out to atone now.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I saw him chalking his shins, which means he has a triple back planned here. He was not in the right position. That was a smart decision to kick out after 2 saltos instead of going for the 3rd.
Now, did he err on the side of caution this time, as that was a touch close to the trampoline?
It certainly was. You can see he gets into a little bit of trouble. The placement is off to the side. He's supposed to be doing 3 flips, changes his mind, does 2, and that was a wise decision.
Oliver scores 4.77, something closer to what he had in mind for his first pass. Jeremy Brock is currently 2nd. He knows he can't catch Chris Mitrick. Holding on to 2nd would be a realistic goal.
Oh, it certainly would. What I really like about Jeremy Brock's form is unbelievable style, very aesthetically pleasing. Great full in, half out straight, half in, half out tuck, and that is a ripped landing, very similar to an entry on a perfect dive.
That was his best pass of the competition. He knows what it's all about, having shared in gold at the '96 Worlds.
Wow, this guy is just unstoppable. Great style, good form, and huge air time. Half in, half out, perfectly nailed down.
A 5.57 for Brock, so he's wrapped up 2nd place. And it remains now for Chris Mitrick of Ontario to confirm 1st place in Carroll. It would be a big surprise if he didn't.
Well, he has a huge trick planned, so the chances of error are great. But this is his event. It is so automatic. Everyone in the sport, in the world, admires his amazing ability to know exactly where he is in the air. And that is huge. Degree of difficulty, the highest we've seen today, 3.1. No wonder he's the world champion.
Not quite the perfect landing for Mitrick this time, but the pass was good enough.
Oh, I think he's struggling with that sprained ankle, but check this out. Full in, Rudy out straight. Full in, full out straight. Knows exactly where he is in the air.
5'9" for the world, and now three-time Canadian champion Chris Mitrick adds 97 to the titles he won in 96 and 93. Confirmation of the order of finish. Mitrick the winner by a long shot. Brock second. Kevin Perkins beats out Israel Martins for third place. Alberta athletes finish 7th, 8th, and 9th. And right now, Carol is standing by with the champion.
Chris Mitrick, it looks like you were thinking about watering down today because of your ankle, but being the world champion you are, you kicked into automatic pilot.
Well, the competition was fairly good. My ankle has been bothering me. Like, as of Tuesday, I thought I was going to do some very simple passes, but I've been feeling good all week and managed to pull it off again.
Congratulations, national champion.
When we come back, tumbling takes center stage at the 97 Canadian Championships.
Years ago, Team Canada made hockey history, captured now by the Royal Canadian Mint with a sterling silver dollar. Comes with a silver collector pin or in a gift set that includes a numbered print, display stand, and gift box. To order either set, call 1-800-267-7000 now. Coins, a gift that lasts for generations. 1-800-267-7000.
Every day, people have financial concerns. At Manulife Financial, we're helping millions of Canadians find real answers, creating flexible solutions to help you face the unexpected. In fact, Manulife is probably helping someone you know right now. Manulife Financial, helping you make better financial decisions.
Whenever you need a helping hand, remember, help is just around the corner at your True Value Hardware. With specials like save $12 on our Master Mechanic 14-piece drill bit set with lifetime warranty, now just $14.97. Save $90 on this tool cabinet and roller chest with 2-year warranty, on sale now, just $99.97. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Have you ever tasted a dream? They call it cookies and cream. One taste, you know what I mean. Cookies and cream. Kind of like white chocolate with a little soul.
A new breed. A new look. The Athletics get physical with Toronto at the Dome today at 4 p.m. live on CBC Sports.
Welcome back. This would be where it all starts, I suppose. And here's an athlete who'll spend a few more years perfecting her routine. Should she decide to take up the sport, she'll be able to use the latest in teaching equipment. Here's Carol with Chalk Talk.
It's really quite astounding how quickly the sport of trampoline and tumbling is progressing. Every athlete is doing bigger tricks, better tricks. They do it so naturally, you might think that they were born flipping and twisting, but some of them have a secret. Here at the Mount Royal Club in Calgary, they use a tumbling bungee system to learn their new tricks. In the hands of a qualified, certified coach, it's probably the safest way to learn the intricate new maneuvers. The bungee system is an elasticized cord that's attached to the ceiling. It then comes down and connects to a twisting belt that's really fits snugly to the athlete. As she runs forward, she's trying to generate just the right amount of tension. The bungee then actually accelerates her as she tumbles backwards and pulls her up into the air for the big trick. The bungee system has been used for years in French and Russian training centers, but it's still fairly new in Canada. In fact, very few gyms have one. But can you really imagine doing tricks like this the very first time without one? The athletes love the bungee system. It dramatically reduces the amount of impact on their bodies when they're tumbling. Less impact means they can take a lot more repetitions during every training session. And that means they master new skills a lot faster. But I think the real reason they use it is because it's so much fun. Scott, you're next.
Hey, there isn't enough bungee cord in the world, Carol, but thank you anyway. Women's tumbling is next at the Canadian Championships. Alberta's Sarah Christie is up first, 8th after prelims.
Sarah's had a very busy week. She's graduating grade 12 this week, and she's also preparing for her Cirque du Soleil audition. And she's got a championship performance on her mind here. Good power, good speed. Finishes with a very nice double pike.
18 years of age, the 96 junior Canadian champion, and in her first year of senior competition, Sarah will take that.
Oh, I think Derek Hansen will take that as well. Her coach will be very pleased with that. Nice whip, full, following that center line all the way down. Good whips through to back handspring, and there's the big trick, double pike. Degree of difficulty, 4.7.
Just there. Like, whoa, lucky.
It was awesome, awesome.
Now, awesome is how her coach Derek Hansen describes it, and brings Sarah Christie a 21.77. Jennifer Stone of Saskatchewan is 6th after prelims, also in her first year as a senior.
The judges will be looking for long, strong, powerful tumbling with exceptional speed, and the athletes must show 8 skills. Jennifer finishes with a nice double pike.
Great height on her final element, hence the big finish for this 17-year-old.
This is a really demanding event. The athletes need to be very strong, very powerful, round off, whip, right into another whip. Back handsprings are starting to accelerate. Another whip, and there it is, double pike. Good clean form on the double pike. She needs to absorb that impact a little more.
Stone actually jumped right to senior from novice competition, bypassing junior, a 21.43 for her in the final. Saskatchewan's Katie Walker is 5th heading into the final. She is 16, and in her first year as a senior, it's a whole new crop here, Carol.
It certainly is, and it just proves how strong Canada is in this discipline. And Katie is strong. Nice whip to full. Double tuck. Now, because she had to bend her knees, the degree of difficulty won't be as high as if she did a double pike like the previous 2 athletes, but that was a good performance.
97 Saskatchewan champion with a spot of trouble on the landing.
Would you please report to the marshalling area at this
Watch how she stretches it out. Whip, there's the full, and that certainly adds to the degree of difficulty. Tumbling well right along that center line. Now she bends her knees, so it's a double tuck, and she struggles on that landing. Great, she held on to it.
Katie Walker earns a 21.57 for her final routine. It's going to be tough for all these younger competitors to move up, given they're competing against a strong Alberta squad. And here's one of their number, Hillary Hickaway, only 15, but with lots of experience.
And very strong coaching. In Alberta, they really approach the sport scientifically. Ooh, she struggled there. Look at her driving backwards, pushing out, and gets it to the double pike. Now that's attitude, and Derek Hansen is delighted.
Yeah, Hillary didn't look too sure about it, but Coach Derek Hansen loved it.
Actually, I think Hillary's going to be disappointed. I know she wanted a big line, but I'm surprised she could tumble to the 8th element at all. Here she looks great. Layout full. You see her knees bent in on the tumbling track, and you must stay strong and tight to get to that 8th skill, but she manages the double pike anyway. Great attitude.
Hickaway earns a 21.17, and she'll wait to see now if she can hang on to 3rd place. Here is the final routine in the career of Alberta's Kelly Ottenbright, who's planning to retire after these championships. She shared in the bronze medal that Canada won at the 96 Worlds. What does she have planned for Calgary?
Since I'm planning this Female House Nationals, I'm really hoping to throw my hardest routines and do my absolute best. It's really important to retire on a good note.
Her whole career has been on a good note. It's hard to believe she's retiring already. Double layout, tumbles out of it, pushing back, finishes with a double pike. Now that's a world-class pass.
And not a bad way to go out at all. Ottenbreit throws her hardest stuff into that one. She was second after prelims and should easily hang on to that placing.
Oh, Brett McCauley's got to be really excited with that. Kelly is such a strong tumbler. Look at this double layout. We haven't seen any Canadians tumble out of a double salto in the middle of the pass yet. And there she shows two of them. Double layout through to double pike. It just doesn't get better.
Coach Brett McCauley with Ottenbreit, who scores a 23.50, highest thus far in the final round.
Senior women's tumbling.
The defending Canadian champion is next. Karen Stevens of Alberta, standing first after prelims.
And this has been a tough week for her. She's attending UFC, and she's currently writing her entrance exams for chemical engineering. So this is a very bright young lady and phenomenally talented. Watch this. There's her double layout. Lots of power, pushing back. Double tuck. She had to adjust and change the line. Now, Brett knows she's capable of more, but it's certainly enough to win. She's so far ahead in degree of difficulty.
She jammed a whole lot, Carol, into a short distance, finished a good meter in front of the pad.
Now, that's not what she was planning. She was hoping to do a full out in the last element, but look, she gets caught up. Double layout's wonderful, but there she gets caught up, rolls back on bent knees, and that just shortens the entire line. But look at the experience. Finishes with a double tuck and doesn't give any indication that there's a problem.
Fourth at the World Championships last year, and a 23.23 is enough for Karen Stevens to win the Canadian title 4 years running. She also won it in 94, 95, and 96. And so Alberta sweeps the women's tumbling. The strength of the Alberta team evident. Karen Stevens, the repeat champion, is with Carol.
Karen Stevens, not the performance I think you were hoping for, but you are the four-time national champion.
Yeah, it feels good to get the fourth one in a row, but yeah, obviously I didn't get the performance I wanted. What I was doing today was a stepping stone for higher DD that I wanted to do at a later competition for the World Cup circuit, so hopefully I'll have better luck there.
Quebec's Michel Green has his truck running smoothly. He'll defend his championship in trampoline when we come back.
For home and shop, one amazing blade that cuts through practically anything. This is new Multi-Disc. It's safe. It won't break or shatter. It's amazingly flexible. It will never bind or kick back your work. Cut copper and iron pipes. Cut plastic pipes clean with no melting. Why spend hundreds on single-purpose blades and wheels? Multi-Disc does it all. Multi-Disc will work on any rotary tool in your home or shop. Put it on your household drill and it cuts like magic. Grind off stripped screws or rusted bolts easily. Multi-Disc cuts like a blade and grinds like a wheel. No ordinary blade can do that. Cut perfect angles and grind curves in ceramic tile. Hobbyists can detail plastics, metal, and wood. It's the best sanding wheel on the market. Grind away paint, rust, and debris in seconds. You get 2 Multi-Discs with universal arbor.
Available at participating Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, Beaver Lumber, True Value Hardware, Pro Hardware, Do-It Centers, Novico Hardware, Co-op stores.
You've never seen anything like it, and it's headed for Canadian Tire. More selection, more parts for more makes and models of cars and light trucks, more quality brand names like Certified Brakes, Monroe Shocks, and TRW suspension parts. So now, you'll get the right parts when you need them at guaranteed low prices. Canadian Tire, Canada's auto parts store, made better.
Too many women are having to go the distance.
Back now in Calgary as we continue with the Canadian Trampoline and Tumbling Championship. Scott Oak along with Carol Orchard. And Carol, we're ready now for our final 3 events. Men's tumbling is the showpiece of this sport. In this country, it's usually led by veterans Chris Shaw and Richard Mouser, but they're being pressed here by some youngsters.
Matt Dial, Christopher Johnston, and 12-year-old Cole Roycroft. 3 hotshots from Team Alberta. They're really pushing the veterans. What's most impressive is that they're so advanced at such a young age.
In the 96 World Championships in Vancouver, Canada won silver in women's double mini trampoline in the person of Lisa Calusi. She'll compete in the final despite the fact that she's got the flu. That may only serve, though, to give the rest of the field a chance because Lisa is the state of the art.
Yes, she is. I just talked to Lisa. She's not sure what she's going to be able to throw today, and she's pretty disappointed. She was planning a world original pass. She really had her heart set on it. She knows it's in her head. She hopes she can get it out of her body today.
And men's trampoline, Michel Green of Quebec is the defending champion. He's sitting nicely in first place after preliminaries. Do you like his chances of successfully defending?
He's coming into finals 2 full points ahead of the rest of the field. In this sport, that's untouchable. But this is an unpredictable event. Look for Matthew Turgeon, Jeremy Brock, and Chris Mitrick. They're really battling for second place, but they're really going to put on an excellent performance.
Michel Green with a wide lead heading into the final. We're told Matthew Turgeon will go with a very tough routine. It'll have to be to catch Green. Jeremy Brock third, Chris Mitrick double mini winner fourth. And we start with BC's Dallas Stevens, 18 years of age and fifth after prelims. Stevens was fifth at the 95 Nationals and sixth last year.
And this is one athlete that competes on every discipline. He's the only one to do tumbling, double mini, and trampoline. And I'm telling you, I watched him all week, and he's had a good time doing it all. The idea is to stay right in the center of that box. There will be a slight deduction for instability on the bed from side to side or back and forth, but he got through all 10 skills.
It's a tough spot that Dallas Stevens finds himself in. He knows it's going to be tough to break the top three, but that was a decent performance.
Oh, it certainly was. Here's the double tuck. Good form, half out pike. Continues right through half in, half out pike. And half out tuck. A good competitor.
And Stevens with a 32.60. He'll now wait out the next 4 routines to see exactly where that lands him. Earlier, we saw Chris Mitrick decisively take double mini. That's by far his stronger event, and he's fourth after prelims in trampoline.
Unbelievable air sense, unbelievable air time. He is way up there. Look at the form. Perfect execution. In trouble, traveling, showing a little bit of instability. Now he's being creative. He's got to get it to 10 skills. There is no stopping a champion.
Some ad-libbing required by Chris Mitrick in that routine. Didn't go exactly as planned, Carol.
Oh, absolutely not. I don't know how he did that. He still was counting to 10. Creating skills. The judges are going to have a tough time with this one. You can see he starts to travel. And now he's ad-libbing. He can't repeat a skill, so he has to remember what he's done, and he's creating every step of the way. He's so innovative.
No, there's no stopping. Great.
Now, Mitrick made it up as he went along, and he earns 36.0. Jeremy Brock took second to Mitrick in double mini earlier. Trampoline, though, is Brock's favorite event, at least this year.
For nationals this year, I've been focusing more on trampoline, primarily because I've been studying political science really hard at Simon Fraser. So I've been focusing on that a lot in my life, and there just hasn't been a lot of time for more than one event, and sometimes double mini falls by the wayside. And so I have been focusing a little bit more on trampoline.
These are complete athletes with a full academic load and full training. It's not easy. Beautiful Triffus pike. This guy knows how to fly high with great style. A little trouble traveling there, hits the platform and falls right off.
Disaster befalls Jeremy Brock. Good start for him, but Carroll on his fourth element, he launched himself off the trampoline. Nasty looking fall in an awkward position.
Now the spotters are around the sides of the trampoline, and there is a safety platform at each end that's well matted.
Coach Aaron Johnson tending to Brock, and now the medical personnel get over there. He hasn't yet been moved, but keeping him flat seems more a precautionary measure than anything.
Oh, absolutely. Always safe than sorry. These athletes know how to protect themselves in a fall. You'll see he's traveling forward. He hits the safety platform, which does break his fall, but the momentum, he's still rotating backwards, and those are great coaches trying to get in there and save him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Brock.
And now Brock is up and under his own power. He did complete a few elements, so he gets A score of 11-1 on that routine. An unnerving thing for the next competitor to witness, and the next one is Matthew Turgeon of Unionville, Ontario. Second after prelims, it will take the performance of a lifetime for him to have any chance of catching Michelle Green.
Actually, he is planning the routine of a lifetime. He wants to break the world DD record, but I'm wondering if Jeremy Brock's fall is going to have him make any adjustments. It doesn't look like it. He is cranking every trick off the bed, trying to get the air time, pushing through. How many twists, how many flips? He adds a skill. He checks with Dave Ross. I got it.
That may just have been the routine of Turgeon's life, and all his teammates over to congratulate him.
Unbelievable accomplishment. 1986, the DD used to be 14.6. In 1997, this year, Emmanuel Durand pushed it through to 14.7. And Matthew Turgeon of Canada now sits at the world record, 14.8, cranking it, pushing it to the limit. This guy is on the edge. Has to add a skill, but that's only a deduction. It does not take away from his world record.
34-2-0 for Turgeon. The degree of difficulty, a huge factor in that score. Has he made it tough for Michelle Green? We're about to find out as Green is ready now to answer Turgeon. He is the only lawyer in this field. Green works as a Crown prosecutor in Hull, Quebec.
As a lawyer, I'm working as a prosecutor in Hull. It's a government work, so instead of just meeting clients and running after the money, you just have to do the work that's 9 to 5 at the court day. And after 5, usually you get home, and then you have time to train. You don't have to bring back home and work at home. You don't have to work at home, so that's a good thing, and that's when you get time to train.
And he's had time to train. Still heads home on weekends to train with Marianne Saint-Jacques and his coach, Alain Duchesne. And he looks great. The adrenaline has to be pumping. Jeremy's had a fall. Matthew Turgeon just broke the world DD record. And Michel is pushing for the national title, and he's got to have it with that performance.
It wasn't as difficult a routine as Turgeon, but it was well executed, and it should be enough.
Oh, absolutely world class. He is a real performer. Great form. Triffus pike, that's 3 flips. Full straight. 3 flips again in that Triffus tuck. Half in, half out pike. Great air sense.
36-1 for Michelle Green to confirm his 3rd Canadian championship, 94, 96, and now 97. In the end, no contest as far as the title was concerned. Green wins by over 4 points. Turgeon 2nd, Chris Mitrick 3rd. And then these 5 round out the top 10. Jeremy Brock would have finished a whole lot higher were it not for his fall. And Carol is with the champion, Michelle Green of Quebec.
Michelle Green, what a spectacular performance. Now, was it pressure or motivation having to go after Matthew Turgeon after he broke the world degree of difficulty record?
Well, first of all, I have to say congratulations to Matt, because you've done a great job. It was motivation, you know. We were just kind of pushing each other. It's not pressure. I saw him do that. I felt good. I felt happy for them, and I just went to do my routine, and that was it. You know, I felt like kind of a weight lifted from my shoulders, because some of the other competitors didn't do that as well, and so the meet was getting a bit more pressure. There was a tension there, and then Matt broke that world record, and that was just it. It was really good.
I woke up this morning. I felt great. You know, I came to the gym, warm up went really well. Then just decided, heck, let's just go for it. Why not? And then what do you know? I did it. Did my 14.8 world record. I love it. I'm just so happy, geez.
Lisa Calusi has her gunfight and face on for Double Mini, which is next.
This is the hangar. This is our plane.
What's that?
That's a rock.
This summer,
He's okay. He's a U.S. Ranger, hitching a ride home.
Con Air invites you to sit back.
Isn't that your car?
Relax.
What do you gotta do? I'm gonna sit today.
And enjoy the ride. Buckle up. From Jerry Bruckheimer, producer of The Rock, Con Air, directed by Simon West.
I'm too old for this.
Now playing at a theater near you.
Introducing the Gold Digger by Garden Claw. The patented Gold Digger has 3 heads for planting
edging, weeding and lawn repair. The bulb planter digs a perfect hole without back-breaking effort. Push the plunger to eject the soil. Great for spring bulbs and annuals. The Gold Digger's serrated edger gives your yard that professional look. The weeder makes weed and crabgrass removal easy. Add a plug of grass for quick rejuvenation. The Gold Digger.
Available at participating True Value, Beaver Lumber, Home Hardware, and Co-op stores. Makes a great...
Your bank cut back its hours? Yes? Then join us. We're Interior Savings.
We give you full service when you need it, including Saturdays and late evenings.
Interior Savings. People working hard to earn your business.
This is Cliff Chatterton of the War Amps. I've known Megan since she was 3. This is your new swimming arm, and this is the sport hand that goes with it, okay? She was enrolled in Champ after a terrible car crash cost her an arm. Show kids you care. Be a part of the War Amps Drive Safe campaign.
Drive safe.
Are your bank's decisions made locally? No? Then join us. We're Interior Savings.
When my business needed financing, the decision was made here by people who know me.
Interior Savings. People working hard to earn your business.
Welcome back as we continue with the Canadian Trampoline and Tumbling Championships in Calgary. Women's double mini is next on our agenda. And here's 17-year-old Martha Purdy of Nova Scotia, 10th heading into the final 2 rounds. Carol, perhaps not where you'd expect a 2-time Canadian champion to be.
Actually, her performance during prelims surprised everyone for 2 reasons. She's throwing bigger tricks than ever, but she did crash and burn. But there's no crashing today. She's back on her feet. Only a slight deduction for heading out of bounds.
She won the championship in '94 and '95 and was second last year to Lisa Calusi.
Looks good. Half out pike. Good placement on the bed. Sets up for double pike, but was slightly leaning backwards. And that tosses her right out of bounds with that step.
It will take some work for Purdy to move up into the top 5 after prelims, and 4.90 is not a bad start. Alberta's Kelly Anderson is next. She's 8th after prelims.
Kelly's a strong athlete, and she's definitely progressing on double mini. Alberta is trying to push ahead in all disciplines. Right now, tumbling is their forte. But take a look at this. Good basics right through to a double tuck.
And a nice solid landing. Last chance to impress the judges. Anderson happy with that pass.
Oh, definitely. She's showing some really important basics that are going to increase in difficulty in the years to come. Here's her pike, half out, bends her knees slightly. That will be an execution error of a couple of tenths, but a solid double tuck.
And Kelly Anderson of Alberta earns a 4.77 for her first pass in the final.
From Ontario,
Becky Shepherd of Ontario was 7th after prelims.
And this is a tough event because they can't repeat anything that they've already shown the judges in prelims. So these have to be completely new passes, and that puts a lot of pressure on the athletes. Oh, exquisite form. She's beautiful in the air.
She's been here before. Shepherd was 6th at these Canadian Championships last year. She was not displeased with that pass, Carol.
Oh, that was beautiful. And again, nice basics. She'll soon add more twists and flips, but right now, this is a back straight spotter. Lands on the bed and heads into a very beautiful Fliffus pike right down to her knees and her toe point. Great execution.
It's a 4.93 for Shepherd, highest of the 3 scores we've seen so far in this round. But don't forget, Lisa Calusi is just a few competitors away. She's number 2 in the world. And this is Shannon Lee of BC, 2nd after prelims.
All of these athletes are really starting to develop in this discipline. You'll see the degree of difficulty is a little lower than what Lisa's planning to throw, but look how clean, how classy, great half-out tuck.
She's got a long, lean physique. It's different from most of the other competitors.
Beautiful line in the air. Every athlete is trying to get every mark they can. Nice and straight. There's her back full spotter, which means she lands on the bed again. Great placement, and then heads into the half-out tuck.
And it's a 4.83 for Shannon Lee on her first pass in the final. She's locked in the battle with Joanne Gaumont, her teammate. They were tied for second after prelims, and here is Gaumont.
And this will be a good battle. The bed of the trampoline is going to throw you in any direction you're aiming. The athletes are all trying to get that air time, go straight up. Double twist. Oh, great. Pike half out dismount. Her degree of difficulty will be much higher. She's looking at a 1.9.
On the landing, concern followed by a broad smile when she realized she'd done it, and we've seen that before.
Nice wide stance on the bed. Good air time. Here's the double twist. Legs right together. Good form. Pike half out dismount. The landing's the most important part for the judges.
4.83 for Gaumont. She and teammate Shannon Lee still in a dead heat. That's the same score that Lee registered. Now here is Lisa Calusi. She is bothered by the flu but expected to win nonetheless. That's just how good Calusi is. In fact, she's strong enough that she can afford to look ahead to next year.
At Worlds in '98, I'd like to be the first girl to throw a triple somersault. So I'll do a triple pike dismount, hopefully, with any kind of luck. I'd like to do a Miller dismount as well, and a Rudy out mount, which I'll be trying at Nationals this year.
Lisa's got big plans for the future, but I know today is the title she wants. And she is throwing it. That was a Rudy out pike mount. She almost lost it on the landing. I think she just saw her title flash before her eyes, but she's the first woman to ever do a Rudy out pike mount.
Wasn't a perfect landing, but still the most proficient pass of this round.
Oh, this is huge. There it is, Rudy out, flies into a double tuck, a little out of control, still rotating backwards. But the main thing is she is now building for Worlds next year.
Calusi earns a 4.5, and that will leave her well in front with one round of the final to go. So Lisa Calusi is over a point ahead of Gaumont and Lee, and the real battle here then is obviously for second place. And we'll sort it out when we return to Calgary with the completion of double mini trampoline in the 1997 championships.
Years ago, Team Canada made hockey history, captured now by the Royal Canadian Mint with a sterling silver dollar. Comes with a silver collector pin or in a gift set that includes a numbered print, display stand, and gift box. To order either set, call 1-800-267-7000 now. Coins, a gift that lasts for generations. 1-800-267-7000.
Let's talk about bringing people together.
With a new way to save from BC Tech.
Let's talk about rates as low as 69 cents a minute to India.
50 cents to Germany.
Not just to one number, but to every number in the country you spend the most calling. Let's talk about saving you money.
In one place called Affinity.
To join, call 1-888-228-2554. And let's talk.
Whenever you need a helping hand, remember, help is just around the corner at your True Value Hardware, where you can save up to 25% on a Sanyo portable or bookshelf stereo, both with CD, dual cassette, and AM/FM radio. ProTech Extra 10W30 from Esso, the leader in protection. $1.49 a liter or $17.88 for 12. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Back in Calgary on a perfect day in the foothills of the Rockies as we move indoors at the University of Calgary for more of the Canadian Trampoline and Tumbling Championships. Martha Purdy moved from 10th to 6th with her first routine in the double mini final, and here now is her second pass.
She's got a great history of excellent development with her longtime coach, Dave Brown. When he retired, she's now working with Tim Parker, and we've seen him a lot on the floor working with all the athletes. Double tuck spotter, which means she gets that extra little bounce, Rudy out tuck.
And will that be enough for Purdy to continue her climb in the standings?
It's unfortunate she did have the fall in prelims because the prelim score is added to the final score. But hey, today she looks great. Here's that extra little bounce. That's the double tuck spotter. Looks for the trampoline bed. Great Rudy out tuck dismount.
And here's the score for Martha Purdy. It's a 4.83. She distinguished herself in the 94, 95, and 96 championships and is trying to recover from prelims here in Calgary now. And Alberta's Kelly Anderson is also hoping to make a move. She is currently 5th.
Her right knee is taped, so she is struggling with a bit of pain. And this event has tremendous impact. Back tuck spotter, pike half out. Kelly is showing really good basics.
She was 8th after prelims, had a good first pass in the final, and that one wasn't bad.
Very clean, good execution. What she'll be starting to work on now are more twists, more flips, just to increase that degree of difficulty. Sets it up, kicks out the back tuck. Bigger trick here, pike half out dismount, but the degree of difficulty is 1.5, and I know next year she'll be pushing to really increase that.
Anderson registers a 4.50. She's hoping for a top 5 placing, and that's a pretty solid performance for her. Becky Shepherd of Ontario now with her second routine, and she is currently 4th.
Ontario, Becky Shepherd.
Now this is one athlete that scores very well in the execution department. The run is not judged. The athlete can have a long run, a short run, a fast run. This is where the judging starts. Back full, right into half out tuck, very clean and classy.
Nice and tidy on her first pass and a similar performance on her second.
And there's Tim Parker. He's been helping all the athletes. What a great community. Everybody works together. And here's Becky's exquisite execution, back full, half out tuck.
4.77 is Becky Shepherd's score, and she's looking good now for 4th place. And now the BC teammates, Shannon Lee and Joanne Gaumont, are about to sort out 2nd and 3rd place. Remember, they're in a dead heat for 2nd after the first round of the final.
It's going to come down to 2 things, the degree of difficulty and the execution. Look for solid landing to impress the judges. Triple twist is impressive.
Question is, has Shannon Lee impressed the judges enough to earn 2nd place?
Now, the mount was a fairly simple basic, Branny straight, but the triple twist was beautiful. There's the Branny straight. 3 twists before she comes back down to earth. Degree of difficulty, 1.5.
It's a 4.57 for Shannon Lee, not as good as her first pass, and so the door is open now for Joanne Gaumont to break the tie. Gaumont is the BC champion. She has a fair amount of international experience.
She's planning a degree of difficulty exactly the same as Shannon, 1.5. So it's actually going to come down to performance. There's the half out tuck. Didn't quite kick it out, but the back full straight looks good.
Well, she stuck the landing, and Carol, you pointed out the degree of difficulty is exactly the same as Shannon Lee, so they'll be separated now on execution.
Now it is for the judges to decide. Watch her first element. Half out tuck doesn't quite kick it out. There will be an execution error there, but the back full straight is beautiful. And more importantly, the landing is solid.
It's a 4.50 for Joanne Gaumont, and that is not enough to overtake Shannon Lee, so Lee will be 2nd, Gaumont 3rd, providing Lisa Calusi doesn't falter, and that shouldn't happen.
I doubt that very much. Lisa actually holds the world DD record with Jennifer Sands of USA at 2.5, and she threw that in prelims. Today, she's planning a 2.3, and it's still huge. Look at that. Half in, full out tuck. Back in, full out tuck. She knows she's the champion with that.
That was just fine. There's no doubt that Lisa Calusi has won it.
Tim Parker enjoying in the celebration. This is just nuts in the air. Look at that. Half in, full out tuck. Back in, full out. Looks for the ground and lands well.
A 5.23 for Lisa Calusi, and that will put her in a different league as she is almost 2 full points ahead of Shannon Lee, who gets 2nd place. Gaumont is 3rd. Nice work by Martha Purdy, who climbed to 5th with her final 2 routines. Lisa Calusi reigns, and she is standing by with Carol.
Lisa Calusi, you had the flu. Warm-up was really rough, but the mind was willing and the body came through.
Yeah, warm-up was really kind of scary. Trying new passes, it's really hard when you're sick. I haven't eaten much today, so it was rough. But after the first pass, after messing up just that little bit, I no longer felt sick. It was like, this is mine for the taking. I need to take it.
Age is no barrier in men's tumbling. We'll find that out when we return to Calgary with more of the '97 championships.
Hi, I'm Art Drysdale, and I have some exciting news. One of the best garden tools I've ever used has just gotten better. The new Garden Claw Gold lets you customize the height for your own personal comfort. Simply turn the handles and the hardened steel tines rip through all types of soil, even heavy clay, without backbreaking effort. And it's perfect for mixing in fertilizer and working around plants. The Garden Claw Gold comes with a 100% lifetime guarantee and makes a great gift.
Available at Canadian Tire, Sears, Kmart, and Zellers.
Whenever you need a helping hand, remember, help is just around the corner at your True Value Hardware. With specials like save $20 on Black & Decker's 3/8-inch drills, electric or 6-volt cordless. Your choice, $59.97. Choose ready-to-use Roundup or Kill-X Weed Killer to keep your weeds at bay. Now on sale, $6.99 each. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Challenge me. Doubt me. Disrespect me. Tell me I'm older. Tell me I'm slower. Tell me I can no longer fly. I want you to.
All signs indicate you're in the heart of show jumping country at Spruce Meadows, where the best rise to the challenge. The Canadian Pacific World Cup, tomorrow, 4 Eastern.
Welcome back to Calgary. We've mentioned previously that tumbling is the showpiece of these championships, the equivalent, if you will, of the 100 meters in track, and we're ready now with the men's final. After prelims, here is how they stand. Alberta with places 1, 3, 4, and 5. Matt Dial is the leader. He is 15. Cole Roycroft is 12, 10 years younger than Chris Shaw. Jamel Arab of BC is 9th. And Arab going through his final warm-up now, ever mindful of how lucky he is to be able to call Canada home.
This is Algeria, now war-torn, where the price of life is cheap, where violence is ever present. Jamel Arab grew up in this environment, in Béjois. He first visited Canada for the 1996 World Championships in Vancouver. Once there, he decided to stay.
Puis, ils ont fait dans le journal que 2 athlètes vont y participer au championnat du monde. Alors c'est peut-être des personnes qui savent qu'on va y aller participer. Il y a des personnes qui sont menacées aussi. Pour moi, j'étais pas menacé vraiment, mais je savais que si je restais je vais participer plus, bon, j'aurais des problèmes à cause de la guerre civile qu'il y a en Algérie.
The 23-year-old, 22nd in the last Worlds, was the Algerian national champion. But to maximize his performance, he needed better training conditions and coaching.
La façon que dans mon pays, on s'entraîne 1h30 dans la soirée. Et puis, on n'a pas assez de moyens. Je fais quelques exercices, 3 chutes. Puis, il n'y a pas assez d'espace, il n'y a pas assez de moyens. Même des fois, avec l'entraîneur, il n'est pas assez doué pour vous apprendre plus. Et puis ici, on a une grande piste. Et on peut faire plus de mouvements. Puis on a des entraîneurs, puis des athlètes aussi, pour faire des fois de comparer entre 2 athlètes.
Even with his nation at war, leaving Algeria was not an easy decision for Jamel, but a necessary choice for an aspiring athlete.
Ok, pour prendre cette décision, c'était vraiment difficile parce que je vais quitter ma famille et puis mes études aussi. J'étais étudiant à l'université et puis j'aimerais tellement continuer mes études, mais alors c'est comme on a une guerre civile en Algérie, alors je ne pourrais pas y persévérer dans mon domaine et puis de continuer ma vie. Alors comme j'ai vu ici au Canada, bon, c'est un pays développé, comme j'ai dit tout à l'heure. Alors ici on a tous les moyens de sport, puis d'études, puis d'entraîner, des entraîneurs aussi. Alors c'est à cause de ça que...
That story told, how can Jamel Arab lose in his first Canadian Championships?
Oh, it's so true. I think he's already won. The athletes all seem to respect him and understand the situation that he's been put through. He's a great guy.